Great old 76. This one actually looks like a rhombus. I think on the paper you can't really see it on mine. These are actually points on a grid. You'll be able to see the grid a little better. This isn't a rhombus. If it was a rhombus, we would just do the sides. If it was 7 by 6, you would just multiply 7 times 6. Don't worry about it. It just act like it's a rectangle. But it's not a rhombus just because all the sides aren't the same. The top and the bottom ain't 6. The left and right ain't 7. So what I end up doing is calling them different things. I call this triangle A, this one B, this one C, and this one D. So I'm trying to find A. I got to count it up, count it over. 4 by 3. Remember, divide that by 2. So there's A there. And then A and B were exactly the same. So once I found A, I just multiplied it by 2, and I got B. Same thing with C and D. Did C here a 3 by 3, and D was the same thing as a 3 by 3. So I did 3 by 3, divide it in half to find C, multiply it by 2 to get D, and I got 9. And then once I add these two together, 12 plus 9 gives me 21. Alright, 77, find the area of this one. I did it a little differently than you probably would have. Most of you would have tried to find the trapezoid at the top and the bottom. I try to do it a little simpler than y'all would, or if you wanted to do the trapezoid and just add it to the rectangle, that's fine. But I did the 10 by 3, and I got 10 because if this is -5, this is +5. Hey, that's 10 units. You can probably just count along and find out it's 10 by 3, and 10 by 3 is 30. Then I did, what if I had this whole one here, which is a 2 by, a 2 by 10, which is 20, and then take out these two triangles here at the top, and those are 2 by 2 triangles, and 2 times 2 is 4, since it's a triangle, cut it in half, so that makes each one of them 2 and 2. If I take out that 4, I end up getting 16 at the top and 30 at the bottom. 16 plus 30 is 46. Right, with 78, here's one of those another semicircles we love. I simply did the square first and got 8 by 4, and 8 times 4 is 32. Remember the formula for a semicircle, or let's say the formula of a whole circle first, and then just cut it in half, was pi r squared. My radius I found out was 2, because remember you can just start here and count, and hence why it's got E is 2 there too. So counted 2, so plugged in a 2, got 12.56. I divided by 2 because instead of being a whole circle, it's just half. So once I cut it in half, then I'm going to add the 32 plus the 6.28. How did I get the 6.28? Took that area of the circle and divided by 2. That's where my half circle is. Added those two together, and I end up with 38.3. Alright, looking at 79, name the bases of the prism. Remember, in prisms, it's a little different than a pyramid. The bases are actually the two triangles in this situation. There's always going to be those rectangles in there. So our two bases are UWY, so UWY, and VXZ. Notice these two both have 4. The base is not going to be the bottom always. It's always just going to be the two equal sides. And this one's got 4 as well. There were 2 different ways to do this. There's the book's way, I don't really like, and then there's my way. I'll talk about both. I'll probably talk about the book's way first. They had this magic formula in here. Now, I'm not going to remember the magic formula. That's why I don't like it. If y'all want to start memorizing it, go ahead. Remember where n is the number of sides inside the circle. So I end up plugging in how many sides there were. And there are 6 sides, meaning each angle is 60. So I plugged in the 60, plugged in the radius. I know if the whole thing is 18, the radius has got to be 9. Plugged that in, and I found out that one of those dark circles is 7.1, and there's 4 dark circles there. So I multiply that times 4, and we end up with that 29.3. My way, the way that makes a little more sense to me, was first to find the area of the triangle. If I could find one triangle, I could just multiply it by 6, take those out of the circle, and I have all of these left. Let's talk about the triangle first. Found out the triangle was a 9. I divided it down the middle, such as I did here. They're all my radiuses here are 9, so I got 9, 9, 9. And then since I went straight down the middle, that's half. Found out it was 4.5. I had to find the height, so I did 9 squared minus, or I did 4.5 squared plus x squared equals 9 squared. Used the Pythagorean theorem. Found out it was 7.8. Then found the area of one triangle. Did 7.8 times 4.5, and then since it's a triangle, I had to cut it in half. So did half, and I get 35.1. Since there were 6, I multiplied it by 6 and got 210. And those are all the triangles in there, so that's all those triangles. So now if I figure out the circle, which is pi r squared, so plugged in 9 here and found out the circle was 254.5. Now I'm just going to subtract the 254.5 minus the 210. That's going to give me the area remaining, not all the dark circles, but the dark circles plus this area at the top and this area at the bottom. So I did that and I got 43.9. Once I divided that by 6, I get one of these sections. So I divided by 6 and got one of them of 7.3. Notice earlier we got 7.1. We rounded a little bit. So right. So if one of them is 7.3, if I multiply it by 4, and I kind of ran out of paper there, but times it by 4, and I get that 29.3. It gives me that 29.3. So 2 ways to do it. Either way is fine. Do whatever you think suits you. Alright, we're at 81. It says find the lateral area. Now the lateral area means not basis. If we were talking about the surface area, would mean every surface. The lateral area just means we're not going to do the triangle. We're really just doing the 3, this back, this bottom, and this slanted triangle. Not triangle, rectangle. Sorry. So if I find the bottom one, that's a 6 by 8. I got that there. The back, a 5 by 8. Now the question was, how did I get that 7.8? I knew this was 5 here. If this is 5 and this is 6, 5 squared plus 6 squared equals this horizontal or hypotenuse squared. So this now is 7.8. So I got 7.8 times 8. So I found that was 7.8. So then I got a 7.8 times 8. And then, so after I multiply, I just added them all together, and I get 150.5.